Hey everybody, it's Joe State with Gamers in Beta here to show some first impressions of this pre-alpha build of LawBreakers that I had the privilege of playing. You'll see here, I'm rolling out of the gate as a Vanguard, testing out this Pulsar secondary weapon, and boom, just turned this guy into meat. I died right after this, and so I'm going to swap characters to what's called the Assassin. So I'm going through here. I just spawned and I'm trying to check out our battery area, make sure that's safe, check out some enemies, not really seeing anything, and all of a sudden, get over here! Boom! Got that guy. Took him out. You'll see I just used the grappling functionality of the Assassin's Arc Blades. It's great for maneuvering and making yourself more agile. That way you can get in and out of combat. Now, the character select screen I just showed you, you will see that there are 4 classes that are currently available in this build. You have the Enforcer, the Titan, Vanguard, and the Assassin classes. I just loaded up the Titan. He's more of a soldier class, very traditional first-person shooter style gameplay. You can juggle with rockets, and you can play with predicting where your enemy is going. That way you can utilize the splash damage and take everybody out. So, let's go through and move over to the middle of the map. Oh, just kidding. I screwed up my rocket jump. The thing is, in this game, you don't use control to crouch. There's actually no crouch. If you use control, you actually fire behind you, which is great if you're a character that's using like a chain gun or an auto rifle, because if somebody's giving you chase, you can shoot behind you and possibly, get them off your back or take them out. However, if you're somebody with a rocket launcher, it's just not that convenient for you because you're not able to aim behind you, and so you don't exactly know where you're going, and it's really hard to get a direct hit with a rocket, especially if you can't see where you're shooting it. So, let's see here. You'll see that I'm shooting rockets off, and it would have been nice to know this at the time, but you can right click and auto detonate your rocket wherever it is. So you can utilize that to get splash damage in aerial combat. And you'll see there's a lot of aerial combat, especially if you're in these 0G areas. So we got some more enemies here. An assassin just flew up, and I got this guy, just got a direct hit, and got some splash damage against the wall to take him out. And so now we're going through again. I'm taking some damage though, so I'm gonna try and do some aerial maneuvers here. A little bit of circle strafing. Switch to my lightning gun, and that lightning gun is what's called a crisper. And what's cool about that lightning gun is it actually has basically kind of like chain lightning, which people that play like RTSs or stuff like that might be familiar with. It basically will chain your lightning effect from one enemy to another if they're close enough. Now, up here, running into a little bit of resistance, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to them without dying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down and I'm going to go to this health station. I believe they're called the Rejuva station. What I really like about it is it's a stationary health station. No health drops or regenerating health in this game. So it makes a little bit of a choke point if somebody knows that you're going to heal. It's always there. So, and they're usually in the same part of the map on both sides of the map. Or at least I assume. We only got to play one map. Okay, back out here and direct hit. Guy got taken out. And let's see here. I'm going to go over to where the battery is. Try and defend. See what we can do. Okay, you see how everybody around here has a carrot above their head and a name tag? That means they're on my team. The enemies do not have that. And it gets a little bit confusing, at least early on in the game, because not everybody has a team color or anything like that. Everybody, they just have their own costume or skin or whatever. So early on in the game, when you're adjusting, you just don't really have memorized who's on what team in regards to skins. So the dev said that they are working on this. This is something that gets brought up to them often, and so hopefully that gets fixed by whatever the next build will be. Okay, back out by the battery. And let's see here. There's an assassin up there. So assassins are super fast, so they're kind of difficult to hit with your rockets, especially when they're in a higher plane. So I'm going to pop my Berserk mode, which is a mode that has a long cooking time but deals massive damage. You'll see every character has a long build-up time at the bottom left corner of the screen. Each character kind of has 3 moves mapped out. Shift is a mobility move. Most characters get a huge boost in speed, but the Titan, they just kind of get this little 20-foot leap forward that's called Pulverize, and it has this area of effect move that gets everybody around him as he smashes the ground and shoots electricity out and everything. So let's see here. There's one other move I should mention. It's called, well, it's more like your traditional grenade move. If you push E, everybody has a different one. The Titan has one called a neutron mine, and anybody that falls into the area of effect of your neutron mine basically gets slowed down. So it's great if you run into like an assassin. Alright, more traditional gameplay here with the rockets. Obviously, when you have a rocket launcher, you love when people are chasing you. Alright, let's try out some more assassin stuff. I was told the assassin's able to do a combo with their blades. So each subsequent hit with your blades deals more damage. And then I guess the third one, if you're able to pull it off, it deals massive damage and can take out almost any other class, which is something that I just haven't been able to pull off myself. I'm not that great as the assassin. I think that's mostly just because, they're not something that I've really had the opportunity to play before, and I just wanted to have a good time with the game. I didn't really want to learn a new character. Given the opportunity later on, I think I'll totally be into that, but who's to say? Alright, now we're on the Enforcer class. I feel like for me, I do pretty well with the more traditional FPS archetypes, Soldier and Infantry. If you use the mobility move for this character, it speeds you up, but it also gives a speed boost to everybody around you, which is pretty interesting and helpful. Okay, so let's see here. At the Rejuva station, popped a shot off at a teammate. Again, hard to remember who's on your team just off the top of your head this early in the game. Okay, so using my auto rifle, I fire from the hip a lot. And then switch over to the secondary weapon. The Enforcer probably has my favorite secondary weapon in the game. It's called the Badger, and it's supposed to be kind of like the evolution of a taser or stun gun. It's pretty fun to use, and it feels like it's pretty effective. So I mentioned that I do a lot of shooting from the hip as the Enforcer, even though he's actually the only character in the game with the ability to aim down the sights. You can get headshots and all that stuff, but for some reason it just didn't feel that natural here. It's possible that it's just because he's the only one that does it. So I also want to mention, just for prosperity's sake here, if you push F as each character, you get to do a kick move, which is kind of great if you're up against an assassin in close quarters. You kind of just boot them back. Okay, going through here, you'll see that I just shot my Bloodhound launcher, which again, it's like the Berserk, the Q move with a Titan. It's the one that has a high cooking time but deals massive damage. And those Bloodhound launcher, as you can see, uh, they look like they're going to deal some massive damage. And I use them a little bit later on. You can see them in effect. Yeah, just biffed that. Didn't get up that ledge. I ended up doing that a lot, to be honest. It's kind of hard earlier on in the game adjusting to your mobility move and going up that ledge. So I want to get back onto the talk about the Bloodhound launcher. Obviously, it's called the Bloodhound launcher, so you can get the impression that it's going to sniff out your enemies. It's going to be like a heat-seeking kind of rocket. It'll give chase. You can see here that when I kill these enemies, there is a little pickup that drops from them. You'll only get that pickup if you're the enforcer. Nobody else really gets pickups. Now, I mentioned that cooking time. So those pickups actually help out with that cooking time. Every time you get a kill or an assist and then you walk over and you get that pickup, it shaves 10 seconds off of the cooking time of your special move. Okay, let's see here. Just died. That's a bummer. Uh, so these aren't the natural respawn time. So the major complaint that a lot of us had were that the respawn times were a little bit too long. So let's see here. Let's get back out on the battlefield. See what we can do for this battery. Okay, I think gonna drop down here, and this is kind of funny. So I drop down here. I'm kind of in my firefight, and then all of a sudden, boom! Annihilated by this very sneaky assassin. Alright, back to the Titan here. This Titan is on the Breakers side. And if you take a look here, this person with the blue costume is another Titan. She is the Titan on the Breakers side. So based on aesthetics alone, I think that I personally like the Titan on the Breaker side. He's got like a cool mask and these weird dreadlock things. I don't know. The female one that's on the Law side has some pretty funny quips when you're playing as her. So I did like that, but I just like the curmudgeonly nature of the Breakers Titan. Alright, so you just saw that assassin jump off the ledge. She actually used her grappling hook to swing around the map and escape from me. So that's a pretty interesting aspect that you can play around with when you're the assassin. Okay, it looks like the Vanguard popped off her grenade. And so we're kind of hopping around in the 0G field. It's very temporary because it is tied to a grenade. And let's see here. Since I died, we'll go ahead and check out our final footage with the Enforcer. Alright, that's a pair of Titans, so maybe a little bit too rich for my blood. I'm going to go ahead and back down and reroute. And I tried to go back up there just to get another pop shot, but there is a grenade that disrupts your special abilities. It's an electromag field, and I know I popped off the grenade. I don't know if my own grenade affected my ability move. So that's kind of weird, but who's to say if that's accurate or not. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and route to where the battery is. It's in the enemy base. Back into the 0G field. Use my favorite secondary weapon. Okay. And there's my mobility move, kind of allowing me to jet forward. Let's go ahead and support this guy so he can capture the battery. And I'm going to go ahead and route towards our base with him. That way I can provide him cover and we can get that battery to our base and hopefully pull off a victory here. Okay, we got some enemies. There you go. There's an example of my Bloodhound rockets with their target mode. Alright, back into our base. Oh, there's an assassin. And let's see here. Bam! Annihilation! That means that I killed everyone on their team without dying. So that's a super satisfying victory right here because we pulled off a clutch victory at the very end with an annihilation on top. Alright. So I hope you enjoyed my highlights from my gameplay experience, and I'd like to say thank you very much for watching and encourage you all to go to gamersinbeta.com and check out my article. Thank you.